The Ford CEO is frustrated and he is making major changes. The Ford CEO, Jim Farley, is feeling frustrated and is planning to make significant changes in the company. Ford didn't manufacture enough quality vehicles or acquire the necessary parts, which caused a decrease in earnings and a net loss in 2022. Farley openly admitted to the company's execution problems and expressed his disappointment. He said, "We should have done much better last year." But Farley has not given up, and he has announced some changes to recover from this loss. In this video, we will take a look at the next steps the company is going to take to pull it out of the loss and improve the results. In the recent earnings report for the fourth quarter and full year 2022, Farley talked about how the company's old way of doing things was causing problems and making their results worse. He also said he was upset that Ford missed out on about $2 billion in profits last year because they didn't produce as much as they could have in the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, the company ended up reporting a net loss for the year and didn't meet its earnings goals. While discussing the poor results, Farley accepted the mistakes several times. He said, "We left about $2 billion in profits on the table that were within our control, and we're going to correct that with improved execution and performance." He also stated that it is kind of ironic that Ford, which created the first assembly line and made an incredible industrial system that impressed the world a long time ago, is now having trouble with some simple things in the car business. Ford CEO also stated that, "This is what we should be known for. It is our legacy." He thinks it's important for Ford to be remembered for their innovative past and amazing legacy. But, according to Ford executives, the company's factories frequently produce vehicles that aren't up to par in terms of quality. Additionally, the company's supply chain management isn't as efficient as that of its competitors. Ford's authorities have highlighted several obstacles that have been hindering the car producer's progress in recent weeks. According to Farley, the company still has excess staff. Even after eliminating 3,000 jobs last year, he plans to reduce a further 3,800 jobs in Europe. Ford is ruining its reputation as a 120-year-old, one of the most reliable automakers, and if Farley fails to lead the company in the right direction, people will stop trusting the car brand. Jim Farley believes that the company needs to transform the way vehicles are engineered, sourced, and built by Ford. The chief financial officer, John Lawler, stated that these modifications are essential to address the costs that are putting Ford at a disadvantage of $7 to $8 billion compared to its competitors. As the company makes the costly transition to electric vehicles, it is all the more important to cut the excessive cost in these areas. Before we talk about how Ford is going to cut the cost and focus more on producing high-quality vehicles, please give the video a like if you are enjoying it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future videos from us. Ford is planning to earn between $9 to $11 billion in 2023. Farley and Lawler talked about the dysfunctionality within Ford during the Wolf Global Auto and Auto Consumer Conference. They explained how the company plans to fix it. Farley said, "I've watched several leadership teams at Ford. My perspective is, we can cut the cost and cut people," Farley said. "But the reality is, if you don't change the efficiency of engineering, supply chain and manufacturing, it'll grow back. My job as CEO is to make sure far after I'm gone that it doesn't grow back." According to Lawler, almost half of the cost disadvantage at Ford is because of higher material costs, which add up to around $3 to $4 billion. Another problem is warranty costs, which have been bothering Ford for a while. Lawler explained that to achieve an 8% operating profit margin on electric vehicles and a 10% company-wide operating profit margin by 2026, Ford needs to make some cost improvements. They plan to do this by using better battery chemistries, designing their next generation of electric vehicles from scratch, focusing on the right customer segments, and reducing distribution costs. These are some of the things that will help drive Ford's efforts to meet its financial goals in the coming years. Farley added that Ford has already learned some valuable lessons from developing products like the Mustang Mach-E electric crossover, and they plan to use this knowledge to improve the engineering of future products. He explained that the upcoming vehicles will have fewer labor requirements and fasteners, resulting in radical simplicity. Every watt of energy used will also be measured. According to Farley, the current approach won't be enough to reach the 8% profit target, so the automaker needs to make big changes in the way it design, manufacture, source, and sell its vehicles. This means thinking outside the box and coming up with new ideas and strategies to achieve goals. Ford Motor recently revealed that it will team up with a Chinese supplier named Contemporary Amperex Technology Company Limited, or CATL. The plan is to build a new $3.5 billion battery plant in Michigan for electric vehicles. Ford has faced some criticism because of its decision to work with a Chinese supplier at a time when the tension is high between the US and China. Lisa Drake, Ford's vice president of EV industrialization, addressed the criticism and explained that instead of forming a joint venture with KTL, the company plans to fully own the new battery plant in Michigan through a wholly owned subsidiary called Blue Oval Battery Park Michigan. Ford has announced that it will manufacture battery cells for its electric vehicles using lithium iron phosphate, or LFP battery cell knowledge and services provided by the Chinese company. Ford's engineers will then integrate these battery cells into vehicles, including the Mustang Mach-E and F-150 Lightning. The car manufacturer highlighted the reasons why it plans to introduce LFP batteries in future cars instead of nickel-cobalt-manganese batteries, which it currently is using. Compared to nickel-cobalt-manganese batteries, or NCM in short, LFP batteries are cheaper to produce. LFP batteries are also highly durable and require fewer expensive materials, making them more affordable. They can handle frequent and rapid charging, making them ideal for electric vehicles. According to Ford, the upcoming battery plant is expected to lower vehicle costs for customers. However, the company did not provide any specific information regarding this matter. Ford is confident that geopolitical concerns will not hinder operations because Ford's decision to own the battery plant instead of operating it as a joint venture could help prevent political scrutiny, and it will potentially qualify the cars for federal EV tax credits. The chief customer officer of Ford's electric vehicle unit stated that once the Michigan plant starts producing vehicles, customers who purchase an EV may be eligible for up to $7,500 in federal tax incentives. In August, President Joe Biden signed the Inflation Reduction Act, which includes new and stricter consumer tax credits of up to $7,500 for purchasing an EV. The act also provides incentives for companies to produce batteries domestically, reducing the U.S. auto industry's reliance on China for batteries. Bill Ford, who is the chairman of Ford, said that working with KTL will also help the company improve its skills and knowledge so that it can make its own batteries without needing any outside help. He also believes that once the automaker starts producing these new batteries in the United States, it will help the company build more electric vehicles quickly and at a lower cost, which will ultimately benefit their customers. The $3.5 billion investment in Blue Oval Battery Park, Michigan to produce LFP batteries is just a part of Ford's plan of investing $50 billion globally through 2026. According to Bill Ford, the project will involve building on approximately 950 acres on the west side of the city, and production is set to begin in 2026. While the automaker is planning to cut the number of employees, this investment project is also estimated to create 2,500 jobs at the start of production. Everyone at Ford believes that these measures will give the company an upper hand in the EV market against its competitors. But what do you think? Will the automaker come back on the right track, or will it lose its place among the biggest car makers in the world? Let me know in the comments, and do not forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to the Live Sell channel if you haven't yet, so that you don't miss our future videos and stay updated on what's going on in the car industry.